The Miss Grand USA organization is proud to align with Miss Grand International's global mission, which is to stop the war and end violence. In a world divided by conflict and challenged by natural disaster, we must become a generation that chooses compassion over indifference and healing over division. Peace is more than just the absence of war. Ladies and gentlemen, today our world faces many forms of devastation that leave millions searching for hope. Share with us how compassion, unity, and leadership can heal communities affected by conflict, violence, or natural disaster.
At this time, we were first welcome Miss Grant, California.
As a police officer, I respond to many calls for service, and I meet people on some of the worst days of their lives. Now, they might not remember my name or my badge number, but they'll always remember how I made them feel. See, if there's one thing that I've learned in the last 10 years of being in law enforcement, it's that all people will always remember how you made them feel. Change, it doesn't start from having all the right answers. Change begins when somebody shows up and they simply care. And if I can leave you with this one message tonight, it's that passion creates trust, and unity creates strength, and together, that'll build everlasting change. Thank you.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, your Miss Grand, California.
Next up is Miss Grand Delaware.
History has never been written by those who stood alone. It has always been shaped by those who have chosen unity. In a world filled with conflict and unimaginable loss, our greatest strength is our shared humanity. But when we allow our differences to divide us, we weaken our ability to overcome life's greatest challenges. But when we lead with empathy and embrace one another despite our differences, we become stronger than any adversity we may face. Because together, united by compassion, there is no obstacle we cannot overcome. Thank you.
Up next, we would like to welcome Miss Grant, Indiana.
As a woman who has dedicated the last 6 years of her life serving this United States military, I have witnessed several disasters that has afflicted our country. Imagine waking up and all that you have invested in has been wiped away. This is the reality for many Americans that witnessed the Texas floodings a couple of months ago. But what we can do, not only as queens, but as people, is to unite, educate, have systems in place so that people that are unaware of what is to come are able to advance and save themselves just in time. All it takes is one training session. You could save multiple lives. Thank you.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, your Miss Grand, Deanna.
Now let's call in Miss Grand Louisiana.
Today, our world is not suffering due to the lack of resources. It is suffering due to the lack of compassion. Every day, families flee their home due to war. Children wake to violence instead of opportunity. Communities are left feeling hopeless due to tragedies. Compassion allows us to feel another person's pain. Unity reminds us that no country can heal on its own. Leadership is having the courage to stand up for others when it's easier to just look away. Real leaders don't wait for their governments to make change. They do it their own way through using their voice in an act of kindness or simply standing up for those that can. Tonight, I stand in solidarity with the people of Venezuela and Colombia and all those devastated by the earthquakes. Our Miss Grand USA family lost one of our own, Scarlett Rodriguez, Miss Grand Orlando 2025. May her loss remind us that through these tragedies, there is pain, there is dreams, and there is families that are being devastated. Esta noche alzo mi voz para Venezuela y Colombia y todas las personas que están pasando por los devastadores terremotos. Mi corazón está con ustedes. May we all honor those who we've lost through using compassion to not make indifference, to unite instead of divide. And lastly, may we always hope for a better tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Louisiana. Up next, Miss Grand, Massachusetts.
Leadership is not standing under a spotlight. It is holding the flashlight for families walking through the dark to find their way home. Carrying both Chinese and South African heritage, my story shows that our differences don't have to divide us. They are the very bridges that hold us up. When crisis strikes, with my work with the UN, I believe in anchoring our heart to the UN's SDG 16 goals. That way, we ensure that no seat at the table is left empty. Representing the United States, beautiful culture and diversity, I honestly feel that we have to step up as a country and help others. I really aim to do that in all my missions, and I hope to continue to show that to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Massachusetts. Now, taking the center stage is Miss Grand Nevada.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and judges. In times of devastation, the greatest resource we have is each other. Compassion reminds us to see people before their circumstance. Unity reminds us that healing is a shared responsibility. And leadership inspires action instead of fear. My faith has taught me that hope is something we give away, not something we keep. Through mentoring young women and serving in my community, I have seen firsthand how one encouraging word can literally change someone's future. Because I know when you walk into a room, the most powerful tool you have is your voice. The way you speak, how you carry yourself can literally shift the atmosphere. And I want to encourage each and every one of you today to use your voice and leave an impact. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Nevada. Up next, we welcome to center stage Miss Grand, New Jersey.
Good evening. I'd like to start off by saying that as an advocate for domestic violence, specifically sexual assault, and as a survivor myself, I understand the impact that it can make for you on a day-to-day basis. That is why with my movement, Empower Survivors, I make sure that no one feels alone. I believe that compassion is about caring for one another, specifically if they're feeling some type of way. Unity, coming together, making sure we help one another. Leadership, making sure that if we want to make a difference, we do something about it. Whether it be about conflict, any type of violence, we want to make sure that we still believe in hope. And if we come together as a nation, hope begins. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Grand New Jersey. Now let's call in Miss Grand New Mexico.
Every devastated community has people searching for hope. You cannot have hope without someone willing to unify. You cannot unify without being a leader. And you cannot be a great leader without first having compassion. Devastation comes in many forms. It can be an illness that affects one family, a natural disaster that impacts an entire community, or a war that changes the lives of millions. A leader knows how to listen, takes action, and isn't afraid to ask difficult questions. Because in life's darkest moments, people don't just need solutions. They need someone who will remind them they're not alone. As a leader myself, I will continue to elevate the narratives of others that are unheard and lead with vulnerability, compassion, and courage. Because when compassion becomes our language and unity becomes our choice, devastation no longer has the final word. Hope does. Thank you.
Up next, we welcome to the stage Miss Grant, Ohio.
When people hear the word devastation, they often think about natural disaster, a hurricane, an earthquake. But not all devastation looks the same. Sometimes it's visible, we can see it, and sometimes it's invisible, like the silent loss of hope that makes you feel there's no way forward. That feeling of, do I belong? Or is my future has been taken away? I know that feeling because I have experienced it. But devastation, when I came to United States 7 years ago, this country was so welcoming to me, and it taught me that my future was not defined by the things I left behind, but all the opportunities I had here. Every mentor that trusted in me, every person and community that welcomed me, make me believe that there's more out there. And that's what I want to ask you, all of you, one question. We have a power. Are we going to use this power just to prove that we're powerful? Or are we going to use it to leave hearts better than we found them? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ohio. Last but certainly not the least, Miss Grand, Wisconsin.
Decisions made by the few most powerful are leaving the most vulnerable with nothing but despair. It is during these times that we are reminded our freedom, our health, and our safety are things we can no longer take for granted. But what we are also reminded of is something even more powerful. Strangers opening up their homes, the common folk going out to protest, and new leaders coming up with bold new ideas for change. That is what hope looks like. It takes united communities and courageous leaders who come together and choose to listen before they lead, and choose to turn empathy into lasting change. My challenge for all of us is simple. See the humanity in others. Lend an empathetic ear. And maybe you will be the reason someone has hope. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wisconsin. This is the true essence of having beauty pageants, allowing beauty queens, young dreamers like these ladies to truly make use of their voices, to talk lives, and even change your perspective in this world.